In this video, we're covering the actionable steps you can make to hire your first VA, but specifically all the details no one talks about with the offer process, payroll, taxes, and the process from getting the person onboarded after you give them an offer. I'm gonna break it down step by step so you can copy and paste it into your life or business and have success just like we did. In the last video, guys, we covered how to interview people and make sure they aren't a weirdo. Now we found 1 to 2 people we really like and wanna hire, but what happens next? Guys, if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it either somewhere on screen or below so you can check that out. And guys, make sure to stay until the end where I talk about some best practices for this process I've never shared anywhere publicly and wish I would have known when I was starting out. Basically, guys, we just want to make it really smooth for the person when they start so they're excited about the job and know what they're doing on day one so they can come in, make an impact, and be successful. The way this video is going to be broken down is in a few parts. First, we're going to cover what do you do when you think you found the person and want to hire them, what steps you need to take between the day you decide to hire them and the first day on the job. Then we're gonna cover what contracts we have in our team and what I think you should have in your contracts to make sure you're protected. And then we're gonna cover the details of how to pay these people, what we do to make sure that they are happy, and also how often we're paying them. So let's just jump right in. So you find the person you like, now what? What we usually do is we will send an email letting them know that we've made a decision and want to set up a call with them. On the call, you want them to know that you're excited and it was not an easy decision. If they accept, which they usually will, we'll start by going over some of the logistics. And guys, we will provide a full checklist of onboarding items below this video if you want to check that out. But some of the most important things we want to cover in this conversation are the hours and the start date. This includes confirming the time zone they're going to work and the hours if it's US or the Filipino kind of graveyard shift. You also want to remind them of why they were hired, what the tasks they were hired to do. We like to present this in a Notion page for everyone on the team when we make the offer. Then we like to discuss paid time off and sick days. And at the end of that call, we will send over a contract and let them know that we need that contract signed, usually by end of day, just a way to kind of keep things moving. We'll usually send this contract in PandaDoc or DocuSign, and you want this doc signed before day one so that on day one, you can just jump straight into tasks and work instead of getting these operational items taken care of when you're trying to get busy and be productive. There's a few really important things we make sure to include in the contract. Guys, I promise what I'm about to say is not a long pitch, but if you guys are interested in getting a step-by-step help with process and VAs and access to all of our tools and contracts, and even the favorite VAs that we've worked with in the past, we're gonna have a link below on how we're helping people with that. It's not expensive, but something we've put together and people are having great results with, and we wanna make sure that we can offer that out. So guys, in our contracts, we wanna make sure we include a few important things. First, we wanna have the hours, the pay, and the goals. The goals or bonuses won't always exist for certain roles, but for the ones that do, it's super important to make sure they're inside the contract. This is so you can point back to them if things aren't achieved that were discussed. Next, you wanna have activities, hours, and expectations. This is just what time they'll be online, what they'll be doing every day, and how they're gonna do their job. Lastly, you wanna have things covered in the contract around privacy. This is things like not sharing private company information or access to assets or sharing trade secrets from the company. This is a biggie, not because you expect to have to enforce it, but it sets the tone that it won't be tolerated by anyone. One thing I do wanna mention is you of course wanna have something in your contract, but in my 7 years of working with virtual assistants, I've never had an issue where someone actually did something malicious or bad to the company. I've never heard of anyone actually doing it. Lastly, how to pay VAs, and this one's actually very simple, believe it or not. We pay most of our VAs with 2 tools, but we try to consolidate it to 1 so it's more efficient, and these are the 2 that I use and recommend, either PayPal or Wise. PayPal can be kind of annoying, but it's just kind of an industry standard, but they're both fine. They're global and the people will get paid out quickly once you get them onboarded. One thing I recommend is making sure that you have everyone paid on the same schedule, no matter when they start. I used to have people paid at the end of their first week and then start 2 weeks from there, and found I was paying people on different weeks and it was really annoying. So what I want to do is kind of consolidate this, and now we just pay out bi-weekly on the 14th and the 28th every month. And it's just really simple. You can just knock it out in 1 5 or 10 minute sitting. One other thing to note on this, guys, is there is something called the 13th month in the Philippines, where at the end of the year, if they do a good job, you pay them a full month's bonus as sort of like a holiday bonus. And it's something that they expect if they do a good job, and you definitely want to make them feel appreciated and be part of that. Also, guys, I mentioned it before, but in some cases we have bonuses or we have incentives in the role. I definitely recommend that. It's not needed for every role, but in a lot of roles, it will make the person work harder or become more aligned with your company and the company vision. So definitely recommend it. It's not needed in every case, but if you can add it, I think it's very important. And that's it, guys. That's a wrap on onboarding. If you got any value out of this, make sure to like and sub to the channel so you can get notified when part 5 comes out next week. And we're gonna have lots of other videos coming. If you're interested in any of the tools we mentioned in the video, we will drop links to them below so you can use them yourself. And as always, guys, if you have any comments or questions, drop them below. I'll be hanging out after and we'll answer any questions you guys have. That is it. See you on the next one, guys. Be great.